The deep sea, vast, dark. Mysteries lie hidden beneath its crushing pressure. Creatures beyond imagination lurk in the cold, black depths. It's a place of wonder and terror, a place where nightmares are born. For centuries, humans have been drawn to the unknown. The deep sea, the final frontier on Earth, calls to our adventurous spirit. But the deep doesn't give up its secrets easily. It demands a heavy price. Sometimes it demands everything. Dr. Ava Finch knew the risks. A renowned marine biologist, she dedicated her life to studying the abyss. Haunted by a past expedition, she was driven by an insatiable curiosity. She yearned to unravel the mysteries that lay hidden in the eternal darkness. Her team, assembled from the world's best, prepared for the descent. Each member carried their own fears and motivations. But Ava, she carried the weight of the unknown, a burden she wouldn't share. The submersible, a steel coffin plunging into a liquid grave, began its descent. Light faded, replaced by an oppressive darkness. The familiar world of sunlight and warmth was gone, swallowed by the abyss. Pressure built around them, a physical manifestation of the deep, suffocating embrace. Inside, Ava and her team monitored their instruments. Every blip, every sonar echo could herald a new discovery or a terrifying encounter. As they descended deeper into the abyss, the submersible's lights cut through the inky blackness, revealing strange creatures flitting past the portholes. These beings, with their otherworldly forms, seemed to dance in the currents, their movements both graceful and alien. Bioluminescent organisms painted the darkness with their eerie glow, creating a mesmerizing light show. Each flicker and flash was a testament to the adaptability of life in such extreme conditions. The submersible's crew watched in awe as these tiny beacons of light illuminated their path, guiding them deeper into the unknown. Creatures, blind and translucent, adapted to a world without sunlight, drifted by. Their ghostly forms were a stark reminder of the harsh environment they called home. These beings had evolved in ways that defied imagination, their bodies perfectly suited to the crushing depths and eternal darkness. This was a world of crushing pressure and perpetual night where the weight of the water above was almost unimaginable. The submersible creaked and groaned as it descended, a testament to the immense forces at play. Yet life thrived here in the most unlikely of places. Ava, mesmerized by the alien beauty surrounding her, felt a chill run down her spine. The deeper they went, the more she sensed an unsettling presence. Something wasn't right. The usual hum of the submersible's machinery seemed distant, almost drowned out by the oppressive silence of the deep. The water, usually teeming with life, felt eerily still. It was as if the very essence of the deep had paused, holding its breath in anticipation. The stillness was unnerving, a stark contrast to the vibrant displays of life they had witnessed earlier, as if the creatures themselves were hiding from something far larger, something far more terrifying. The submersible's light scanned the darkness, searching for any sign of movement. The crew's tension was palpable, each member acutely aware of the potential dangers lurking just beyond their view. The deep sea held many secrets, and not all of them were meant to be uncovered. Section 5, a glimpse of terror. Suddenly the sonar blared to life. A massive object, far larger than anything they'd encountered before, appeared on the screen. It was moving towards them, slowly, deliberately. Fear gripped the crew. Whispers turned to frantic chatter. Ava, her heart pounding in her chest, tried to maintain her composure. She had to see it. She had to know what lurked in the abyss. Section 6, Dance of the Dead. The submersible's floodlights pierced the darkness, revealing a scene of unimaginable horror. Countless skeletal remains of marine animals littered the seabed. Whales, sharks, giant squids, all picked clean, a graveyard of giants. And then they saw it. A colossal eye, larger than their submersible, blinked slowly in the darkness. It swiveled, fixing its gaze on them. A cold dread washed over Ava. They had awakened something ancient, something evil. Section 7, Unspeakable Pursuit. The creature, disturbed from its feast, began to rise. Its immense bulk blotted out the lights, casting them into darkness. The submersible shuddered as the creature brushed past, its rough hide scraping against the metal hull. Panic surged through the crew. Their sanctuary, their only link to the surface, felt terrifyingly fragile. The creature circled, its movement slow but deliberate. It was toying with them, hunting them. Section 8. Rise of the Leviathan. The submersible, caught in a powerful current, was dragged upwards. The creature, a leviathan of the deep, followed. Its immense form, illuminated by bioluminescent plankton, was a nightmare brought to life. Ava, her mind racing, knew they had to escape. But how could they outrun a creature that defied imagination? A creature that seemed to exist outside the boundaries of known biology? Section 9, face to face. In the depths of the ocean, where light barely penetrates, the submersible moved cautiously. The crew inside was on high alert, their eyes scanning the murky waters for any signs of life. The creature, its massive jaws agape, lunged towards the submersible. It was a sight to behold, a monstrous being that seemed to come straight out of a nightmare. The sheer size and ferocity of the creature were enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Time seemed to slow to a crawl. Every second felt like an eternity as the submersible's crew braced for impact. The water around them seemed to thicken, and the sounds of the ocean grew muffled as if the world itself was holding its breath. Ava, her breath caught in her throat, stared into the abyss of its maw. She could see every detail, every razor-sharp tooth, and the dark void that seemed to go on forever. Her heart pounded in her chest, and she could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins. In that moment, she saw not just a monster, but an intelligence. There was a glint in its eye, a spark of awareness that made her realize this was no mindless beast. It was a creature with thoughts, perhaps even emotions, and it was aware of her presence, an ancient being disturbed from its slumber. The creature had likely been resting in the depths for centuries, undisturbed by the world above, but now it was awake, and it was not pleased. The submersible had intruded into its domain, and it was making its displeasure known. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the attack ceased. The creature paused, its massive form hovering in the water. It seemed to be considering something, perhaps weighing its options. The tension in the submersible was palpable, as everyone waited to see what would happen next. The creature, with a flick of its tail, disappeared back into the darkness. It moved with a grace that belied its size, vanishing into the inky blackness of the deep sea. The crew watched in stunned silence, hardly able to believe what they had just witnessed, leaving behind only the echo of its passing and the chilling memory of its presence. The encounter had been brief, but it was something that would stay with them forever. The deep sea held many secrets, and they had just come face to face with one of its most terrifying inhabitants. The memory of those eyes, that intelligence, would haunt their dreams for years to come. Section 10. Silent abyss, roaring mind. The submersible, battered but intact, limped back to the surface. It had been a grueling journey, one that tested the limits of both machine and human spirit. The pressure, the darkness, the unknown, all of it had left its mark. Ava, forever changed by the encounter, emerged into the sunlight. The warmth of the sun felt foreign, almost intrusive after the cold embrace of the deep. She squinted, her eyes struggling to adjust to the brightness. The world above seemed alien now. The colors were too vivid, the sounds too sharp, everything felt exaggerated, as if the surface world was mocking the silent abyss she had just left behind. Too bright, too alive. The contrast was jarring, almost painful. She felt like an intruder in her own world, a stranger in a place she once called home. The deep had claimed its price. It had taken a part of her soul, a part she wasn't sure she could ever reclaim. The weight of the ocean's secrets pressed heavily on her mind. It hadn't taken her life, but it had taken something far more precious, her peace of mind. The mysteries she had uncovered were not just scientific data. They were haunting truths that gnawed at her sanity. The abyss, once a source of fascination, was now a source of terror. The allure of the unknown had been replaced by a paralyzing fear. She couldn't shake the feeling that the abyss was watching her, waiting for her to return. It whispered to her in her dreams, reminding her of the horrors that lurked beneath the waves. Night after night, she found herself back in the submersible, descending into the darkness, unable to escape, reminding her that there are some things humankind was never meant to know. The knowledge she had gained came at a steep price, one that she would pay for the rest of her life. The abyss had given her answers, but it had also taken away her peace, leaving her with a mind that roared louder than the silent depths she had explored.